Hello to all my fellow rock lovers out there and fossil lovers. We got the best of both worlds here. This is a giant fossilized shell. Kendra found this a couple of weeks ago when she and I went rock hounding along Onion Creek, just east of Austin. You can usually find these, but this one is giant. It's bigger than anything I've ever found. She put mine to shame that day. So what to do with this fossilized shell, this million-year-old shell right here? Well, I said to Kendra, I said, you know, one thing I can do, I can probably polish it for you, because in an earlier video I showed how I took a shell, much smaller shell, and I put a really nice polish on it. See that? So underneath this crustiness right here, there's usually something that will shine nicely. Now, this is a much taller order right here. So Kendra said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but how much of this to actually polish? The challenge is getting this thing on the 8-inch wheels of my cabbing machine. Because of its odd shape, it's difficult to get the entire surface done. So instead, she agreed. What we should do is just sort of draw an imaginary line and just sort of a face of this thing, not the whole thing. Not the whole thing, because it would be really difficult to get some of these areas, but much like this one, we'll just do a part of it. So in this video, I'm going to take this to my cabbing machine and try to polish a nice section of this side of it. Hopefully it'll be a beauty. We'll know here shortly. Follow me into the shop and let's get started. Okay, we begin with the 80 grit wheel. This is the most important step in the entire process. This 80 grit wheel and the shaping that I do, which takes, in this case, probably 20 minutes, is absolutely key for the following steps. Now, here's how it looks dry. Again, that was probably 20 minutes of grinding, but you can see I got it relatively smooth. I touched most of the surfaces. There's still some pits in there, but it'll be okay. Next up, we move on to the 220 grit wheel, and I go over the entire stone again, the surface of the stone, trying to smooth out those rough scratches. Here's how it looks. You can see a little bit of a sheen on that. Notice that? Well, remember, this is a shell after all, which is basically mother of pearl, so it should have a little bit of a shine. Okay, our next wheel is going to be the 280 grit soft wheel. Here's where I'm going to push in hard. I do that to try to get rid of any faceting on it. This is what it looks like dry. Now, notice that it's pretty smooth. At this point, it should be nice and smooth, and as you can see, a slight shine. Our next wheel is the 600 grit wheel. Normally, this is where the polishing begins. There you go. You can see the reflection of those ring lights I use in the shop. So that's pretty good after 600 grit. Our next wheel, of course, is the 1200 grit. This should start to give us a really good shine. There you go. See the reflections coming through much sharper now? But we can do better. Let's move over to the 3000 grit wheel. Spend some time here. As you can see, I use these splash guards on my machine, which makes it a little difficult to get a large shell in there, but that's okay. And here's how it looks after the 3000 grit. Very shiny. Look at that reflection. I'm extremely happy with this, but I think we can do a little bit better. So let's move over to the wet belt sander. This is where I have a cerium belt, and we'll spend a few minutes on there. Now, what will this do for our final polish? All right, check it out. That's the final polish. What do you think? It's very sharp reflection. It's smooth, looks good. You can clearly see the outside through the shop door there. Well, let's take it inside and take a closer look. Our fossilized shell lapidary adventure is all finished. Check it out. What do you think? Look at the shine we got on this thing. Oh, I could not be happier with this. I think that is just beautiful. Look at that. The detail in there. It's hard to believe that this was all underneath that. Boy, you never know what will be revealed when you start grinding away. And I believe I'm seeing chalcedony in here too. You see this brown stuff right here? Yeah, I'm sure light would pass through that. So it's somewhat agatized. Wow, that's a bonus. I especially like this end over here. Right over here at this end, this looks almost like a picture jasper in here. You see that? Look at that, like a wave right there. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. These shells are so fun to polish like this because you just do not know what you'll find. Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Yeah, but woo, look at that. Yeah, that's beautiful. So that's the second one I've done like this. I think I'm batting 1,000. I got a lot of these shells. I may have to do some more of these. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please remember to check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.